Hey guys, welcome to Robin Hood Diaries. Thanks for joining me as always. This is kind of the second part of an R-rated double feature last night and tonight. I don't tease this on other platforms because I guess only you guys are the ones that don't freak out about it. I don't know. Anyway, subscribers and viewers, all of y'all, you've stuck by me on all this scandalous stuff, right? Because why is the truth so dangerous? Okay. Second part of the R-rated night double feature. So in this one, oh boy, let's establish the time frame. Time frame is 1993 until several months into 1994. So this was right before I met my husband, right-ish. So, whose feelings about all of this was very mixed, to say the least, while he was winding me off of it, or I was winding off of it. So, 2/3 before I met my husband, full drag all the time. And not just, drinky funny. There were ulterior motives to my drag. I've talked about that in other shows. It was inroads and avenues to magazines who helped me get published, who helped me work on deadlines, and hence gave me a six-figure salary. So this is what I'm talking about is the underbelly of my drag. It was those, whatever, let's say 3 years at the outside. So hence the R rating, because this is all about like sketchy, underbelly drag. So of course I went to all the regular spots, right? Drag Strip 66 and all of those other places, all the hot spots, the parties, the scenes, the clubs, the theme nights, all of that. So I had tons of fun, of course, doing that. What my drag buddies and many don't know is that there was a darker side to my drag. Okay, so as an actor, I've done many things in my life that were very sketchy as out of my curiosity of human nature. Now, I know this sounds like bullshit, but it is true. I've had this obsessive curiosity about these kinds of things. I find them irresistible to make character studies of people out just being alive. And it's been irresistible to me, and it's gotten me into this and that. So of this and that, probably definitely the sketchiest of all was it's this really sketchy bar, straight bar, of course, on Western Avenue, just below Hollywood Boulevard, called the Black Light, to the point where the doors were like butcher doors, like plastic butcher stripes or whatever. So I went in there, again, I'm in full drag when I do this, and I'm taking quite a risk doing these things. So I go to the Black Light. Black Light is really, I thought my tolerance for sketchy was, no, not like that. There was another one called The Living Room. There was actually just a few blocks up from that. Tried that in drag. No, too borderline, too dangerous, too dark on that dark side. So I would say that's probably the sketchiest. These were exclusively straight clubs and bars. I was not passable. Okay, I was very creative with my drag, but I was not passable. As these were exclusively straight clubs on nights when I was not partying with other people, and these were usually after hours clubs. One of them that was very popular that I used to go to, surprisingly, one night I was propositioned for sex work. Now, like I said, I am not passable. I am Mr. Ed with lipstick and a wig. So, I'm stylish, but please, that only gets you so far. Am I right, girls? So this was not the WeHo scene. This was the opposite of the WeHo scene. This is me, like dancing on a speaker in some after-hour straight club in Koreatown. So one night, a particularly scandalous night, dressed particularly scandalously, as I was wont to do. Um, I was in the parking lot of the Yukon Mining Company, which I will tell you about in a minute, and I was actually talking to the Chanel twins. Chanel twins were, in my mind, kind of drag royalty at the time. They were the most stylish drag queens on the scene. Hi, Christy. Hi, Kevin. I love you. But they don't remember this. So I turned after leaving the conversation, and there was an LAPD cruiser right next to me with two officers, one on obviously the passenger side, hanging out virtually. And he tells me, I don't want to see you here, or I will lock you up. So this is not really me kind of thing here. I mean, so I of course scampered to my car, quite shocked, as you can imagine, and that ain't the half of it. So about Yukon Mining Company, it was this institution. It was a coffee shop, but it was sort of a ground zero for a confluence of things and scenes, and particularly at night, particularly after hours, because it was a 24-hour joint. Yukon Mining Company, even if you Google it, you don't really find anything about it. I don't know why, because it was notorious. Heavily drag queen scene, trans ladies, definitely a scene, but not as scuzzy like Shakey's Pizza, if y'all know what I mean, on Santa Monica Boulevard, for the Angelinos. So this was I don't know. I mean, it was just a place. It was notorious, and of course, I was notorious for being there plenty of times, running across Santa Monica Boulevard in 5-inch heels. How I didn't break an ankle in 2 years is beyond me. Okay, I'm blessed, remembering all of that. In fact, once there was a club across from a Yukon Mining Company, and my friend was doing the window dancing for it, and so I went up, because I was a smoker at the time, and I always wore nails in my drag, and I went up, and it was sort of like we were making fun of each other with my cigarette, and I lit my cigarette. I lit my fucking plastic nail on fire, and I had a flaming thumb. Try to explain that one. So anyway, one last thing. I had also, I don't want to say a proclivity, but again, part of this morbid curiosity of people's reactions to things. I would also do half drag. So I would make my face fully up as if I was going into drag, but not too heavy. But I could do, drag makeup pretty damn well. So I would do the drag face I would normally do, but I would wear like a tank top, jeans, and a flannel shirt, maybe tied around my waist, and boots, and maybe like a Dallas Cowboys cap, but full drag. So I was a mind F for people. I went to Numbers one time like that, which is, considering the scene at Numbers, was quite bizarre. I wasn't out of place being gay, but it was still a bizarre place to go like that. And there was, okay, so you guys, there was a back room at a drag performance club called the Queen Mary. And the Queen Mary was an institution since 1960 or 61. And it was a drag club. You go to have bachelorette parties and hee ho ho ho, whatever, look at the drag queens. And the MC of Queen Mary was actually the one in the Rose with Bette Midler, her drag buddy. Anyway, so there was a back room. I don't even know how I got on. I didn't plan on this. There was a back room at the Queen Mary, and it was sort of a scene to behold. Okay, I mean, we're talking like truckers and accountants, like heavily interested in transgender ladies, and I would go in there in half drag and like, boy girl drag, and then, everyone would short circuit. I didn't fit into the scene, and more reactions to marvel. Okay, well, I'll let you go. One thing I will leave you with, though, is that all of this, again, was character study for me because why? Never once was there sex involved. In all my drag days, I never did anything in God forbid, in drag or with somebody in drag. Or I drank. We'll talk about that on another show. But sex was never a part of my drag. It was just not, just didn't fly. Okay, you guys, thanks for putting up with me. I love sharing my time with you. You 3 or 4 people in my living room, even though you're a quadrillion people. It's always going to be that way, guys. Sorry. I'm not sorry. Okay, that's it. I'm over time. I'm over. So I'm going to let you go, and I will see you tomorrow. We are finished with our 2 R-rated days, and we will go back to normal programming tomorrow. Thank you. I love you. Bye.